Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of The Great Ruler Season 2 Part 24 based on novel. So let's start. From what I've heard, is it true that you've gathered some divine black lightning? Upon hearing those words, Mu Chen clearly gawked a while. After hesitating a while, he nodded his head while replying, "It's by a fluke that I've managed to refine a single strand of divine black lightning into a lightning bead and absorbed it within my body. During the hunting war, for the sake of fighting with senior brother Gu, I shattered that divine black lightning bead." In a flash, Gu Chenyang finally understood why Mu Chen was able to erupt with such terrifying power while relying on his heavenly transformation stage initial phase strength. However, he still proceeded to shoot a weird look at Mu Chen as he thought, this fellow truly is a freak. He had actually absorbed the divine black lightning into his body. That is something that even sovereign experts would stay clear of. What's more, after shattering the divine black lightning bead, unexpectedly, Mu Chen was able to survive. This made them feel all the more strange. Wasn't this fellow's willpower to live that overly tenacious? A ray of light flashed within the murky eyes of the bald-headed old man. Extending his withered palm, he lifted Mu Chen's sleeve. In the next instant, a black ray of light seemed to have shot up the latter's arm. As the black light shot up, black lines started to instantly surface on Mu Chen's arm. Those black lines started to squirm and wriggle under his skin, while radiating with fluctuations that caused slight unease to people. "What's that?" Mu Chen exclaimed in shock as the expression on his face changed. "Lightning poison," said the bald old man indifferently. "The divine black lightning is the tribulation that a spirit beast needs to experience for it to promote into a divine beast. Not only is it destructive, it also contains a mysterious lightning poison, which people are simply unable to discover. However, as time elapses, the lightning poison will gradually turn corrosive. That is to say, if the lightning poison doesn't erupt. If it erupts, a crack will suddenly ring out from your entire body, and you'll become a pile of ashes." Mu Chen's face instantly turned ugly as a cold sweat started to appear on his forehead. Beside him, a panic-stricken expression appeared within Luo Li's clear eyes as she looked towards Mu Chen with anxiety. At this time, the expressions on the faces of Mo Yu, Shen Sangsheng and the rest also changed. They never expected that there would be such a huge impending disaster hidden within Mu Chen's body. "Senior, please help him." Luo Li could no longer maintain her usual silence as she hurriedly spoke out. Her frantic appearance, however, caused a slightly complicated expression to appear within Li Xuantong's eyes as he faintly tilted his head away. Why should I help him? This is something that he had brought about to himself. Is the divine black lightning something that he can bear? Moreover, he had even shattered it within his body. He's already lucky to not die as a result of doing so. The bald old man's temper appeared to be somewhat strange, since he slowly said his reply while withdrawing his withered palm. Biting her lip, Luo Li said, "If you help him get rid of the lightning poison, I'll compensate you." Sizing Luo Li up, the bald old man replied in a lazy manner, "On your entire body, the only thing that's of interest to me would be the sword in your hand. If Senior likes it, I'll gift this sword as compensation." Still biting her lip, Luo Li gave her reply. Upon hearing her words, the expression on Li Xuantong's face changed. Seeing this, Shen Sangsheng walked over and said in a low voice, "You don't stand even an ounce of chance." Luo Li's words had also made the bald old man startled. The sword in her hands would cause even the hearts of sovereign experts to move. However, unexpectedly, Luo Li was willing to use it as compensation, which created some surprise within him. This was due to him being able to see that Luo Li was very clear about the true value of the sword in her hand. Lord Northern Sea. Unable to bear it any longer, Mo Yu spoke out. After all, he had some connections to Luo Li's father and would naturally help, if possible. Extending his palm out and holding onto Luo Li, Mu Chen shook his head faintly towards her. With a faint smile, he said, "Senior, you're highly respected and worshipped in the Northern Heaven Spiritual Academy. Playing a joke like this on a girl isn't something suitable." "Do you think I'm joking?" Faintly earling his mouth, the bald old man asked. "Senior's usually somewhere hidden." So, your sudden appearance today should have some connection to me, am I right? Perhaps it should be connected to the matter of me absorbing the divine black lightning, am I right? Mu Chen replied with a smile. Hearing his words, the bald old man stared at Mu Chen. Only after a long while did he smile while saying, "You're tremendously astute, brat." Only upon seeing the bald old man reveal a smile did everyone quietly breathe a sigh of relief. The Northern Sea Dragon had an extremely high status in the Northern Heaven Spiritual Academy. Furthermore, he had a weird temperament. If he really did not wish to help, it would truly become something troublesome. Indeed, I've come seeking you due to some matters. Perhaps you'll have to help me with a little problem. Of course, to compensate you, I'll help you deal with the divine black lightning within your body, replied the bald old man. Hearing his words, everyone felt somewhat shocked. What kind of strength did the Northern Sea Dragon possess? Within the entire Northern Heavenly Continent, you might not even find a person that could contend with him. However, from the looks of it, unexpectedly, he had needed the help of Mu Chen, a student at the Heavenly Transformation Stage initial phase. May I know what Senior needs me to do? With my little bit of strength, Mu Chen asked while slightly wrinkling his brows. If it was a problem that even the Northern Sea Dragon was unable to deal with, what could he offer? Just follow me first. At that time I'll give you a rundown about it. Relax, I won't let you do something that would make you lose your life. Feeling helpless, Mu Chen replied, however, I'm currently about to receive my spiritual light empowerment. I'll help with your empowerment, shouted the bald old man as he shot a glare at Mu Chen. He was able to see this brat's intentions with a single look. Only when he heard those words did Mu Chen start to faintly smile. With regards to the spiritual light empowerment, the stronger the person in charge, the greater the effect. Within the entire Northern Heaven Spiritual Academy, the bald old man in front of him was obviously the best person possible for the job. Originally, Mu Chen did not have such hopes. However, who would have known that he would actually appear at this moment? This kind of opportunity doesn't come knocking on one's door twice. One would be too stupid to forsake such an idea. Beside him, Shen Xiangsheng, Li Xiantong, and even Lin Jing and the rest were casting somewhat envious looks towards Mu Chen. Being able to let the Northern Sea Dragon personally help one with their spiritual light empowerment, within the Northern Heaven Spiritual Academy, Mu Chen could be considered to be the first. Since Mu Chen has such an opportunity, let him follow Lord Northern Sea. Mo Yu said with a smile. This Mu Chen truly was a lucky fellow. He's even able to meet up with such a good opportunity. Luo Li released Mu Chen's hand, while the anxiousness in her eyes dissipated, bit by bit. With a smile on her absolutely gorgeous face, she stared at Mu Chen, who had just obtained such good fortune. Then, I'll go first, said Mu Chen as he waved towards Luo Li. However, without waiting for him to say any more words, the bald old man had already dragged him away. With a fluttering of space, the two of them instantly disappeared within the distortion. Looking at the place where Mu Chen had disappeared into, Shen Xiangsheng and the rest were still sighing with envy. Why doesn't good fortune befall onto them? Stop sighing, this sort of good luck seems to be tied to not dying after absorbing and shattering the divine black lightning in one's body. If you guys want it, you can give it a try. Mo Yu said indifferently. Hearing his words, the expressions on Shen Xiangsheng and Li Xuantong's faces faintly changed. He had to be joking. The number of peak-level spiritual beasts killed by the divine black lightning while trying to promote to become a divine beast was uncountable. What's more, shattering it within one's body. Even thinking about it would cause a person's scalp to crawl. Only a freak like Mu Chen would do such an absurd thing. Seeing the two becoming scared stiff, Mo Yu smirked, before turning around and heading into the Great Hall, with Luo Li rapidly following behind him. Sigh? Give it up. Seems like the both of us don't have such a life. Don't feel too bad about it. Helplessly patting Li Xuantong's shoulder, Shen Xiangsheng headed into the Great Hall. Looking at the back figure of Luo Li, Li Xiantong made a dejected sigh before following suit. The moment he was grabbed onto by the bald old man, Mu Chen felt the scenery in front of him change so rapidly, he felt somewhat dizzy. An intense feeling of drowsiness erupted in his mind. Fortunately, this didn't last long, before it rapidly dissipated. Okay. After hearing the indifferent-sounding voice of the bald old man, Mu Chen opened his eyes, before staring somewhat dumbfoundedly at the scenery before him. This was a dim and dark place, with a profound and unfathomable black color everywhere. Naturally, what created the most shock within Mu Chen was the unending sea of black lightning. Like thousands upon thousands of water pillars, black lightning fell from the sky into this black lightning sea. Mu Chen stared at this sea as gigantic lightning bolts arced and danced around within. As deep and low rumbling sounds resounded across this world, it carried along with them the indescribable prestige of the heavens and earth. What is this place? Mu Chen asked as his scalp started to crawl. The unending sea of black lightning in front of him was too terrifying. The last layer of the lightning territory. The bald old man casually replied. Mu Chen sucked in a breath of cold air. This was the final level of the lightning territory? No wonder there's such terrifying lightning energies present here. Compared to here, even the 7th level of the lightning territory would appear insignificant. Carefully feel it. Aren't there some slightly familiar fluctuations within there? Asked the bald old man with a grin as he pointed towards the unending black lightning sea. Panning his doubtful gaze outwards, he tried to sense what the bald old man was talking about. After a long while, his face, however, started to turn slightly pale as he said, while being overwhelmed with shock, "These are the fluctuations of divine black lightning." Within the black lightning sea, Mu Chen discovered the fluctuations of divine black lightning. Unexpectedly, there's actually divine black lightning hidden within the black-colored lightning sea. The quantity present was seemingly more terrifying than those present in the 9 Netherbirds' tribulation. Who would have thought that there would actually be so many divine black lightning present in the final level of the lightning territory? As for the other levels of the lightning territory, their lightning energies are formed from those that have dissipated from here, explained the bald old man with a smile. Hearing that, Mu Chen was speechless as his heart was filled with shock. "Senior, what exactly did you call me here to do?" Unable to resist his curiosity anymore, Mu Chen asked his question with some worry. This place was too terrifying, and any casual divine black lightning that descended might be capable of blasting him into bits. He truly wasn't able to think of how, exactly, he could help the Northern Sea Dragon. Rubbing his withered palms together, a smile surfaced on the wrinkled and dried-up face of the bald old man. However, this smile only caused Mu Chen's goosebumps to instantly stand up as a feeling of unease erupted from within his body. Extending his finger, the bald old man pointed towards the black lightning sea that filled the space in front of them as a laughing voice rang out. "I want you to help me retrieve something from within the lightning sea. I want you to retrieve something for me from within this lightning sea." Upon hearing those words, the expression on Mu Chen's face clearly froze for a while. Opening his eyes wide, he stared at the bald old man in front of him, while having some doubts as to whether he had heard something incorrectly. "You want me to enter that?" Mu Chen said as he blinked his eyes, while pointing towards the unending sea of black lightning. If he didn't hear incorrectly, it ought be that the bald old man had spoken incorrectly, right? Nevertheless, facing his trembling gaze, the bald old man calmly nodded his head, dispelling all the hopes that Mu Chen had. "Senior, are you joking with me?" Mu Chen felt as if his scalp was about to be fried. "There's divine black lightning within that black lightning sea. Even a sovereign would not casually set foot within that place. With his strength at the heavenly transformation stage initial phase, there might not even be ashes left of him upon him just setting foot within there." "I'm not asking you to directly rush in like that," said the bald old man as he rolled his eyes. Hearing those words, Mu Chen finally managed to slightly calm his nerves down. With a bitter laugh, he asked, "Exactly what thing do you want me to retrieve?" "This lightning territory was created by me hundreds of years ago." While pointing towards the mysterious space, before pointing towards the black lightning sea, the bald old man continued with his introduction. "I initially discovered something unique about this space, as it was filled with lightning energies. After noticing that, I casually took all the lightning energies out of the space and condensed them here. After racking my brains and gathering divine black lightning from all over the place, I threw them all into this place and let them grow unsupervised." Mu Chen tugged at this mouth a while as he thought, as expected of the Northern Sea Dragon. The divine black lightning that even Nine Nether was afraid of was, unexpectedly, gathered by him from all over the place. Naturally, this was due to Nine Nether being too young. According to her words, she was considered as just coming of age within the Nine Netherbird clan. Furthermore, being able to endure the divine black lightning tribulation while being a Nine Netherbird that had just come of age, her talent, as well as her abilities, was truly stronger than Mu Chen and the rest. After all, when Nine Nether wakes up, she would have successfully completed her transformation and become a Nine Netherworld bird. At that time, she should have the strength to contend against sovereigns. Added with some training in the future, there would even be the chance for her to exceed this Northern Sea Dragon. However, as time passed, I discovered that some things had already left my scope of control. That's because the strength of the lightning energy within was too terrifying, and condensed together to form a strange and unexpected living thing. The bald old man continued his explanation while showing his somewhat helpless dilemma. Living thing? Mu Chen gawked. In the lightning sea, which was completely devoid of life, it could condense to form an unexpected living thing? I name it as lightning spirit. This entire lightning sea can be considered its body. Mu Chen sucked in a breath of cold air as he looked towards the unending sea of lighting, while being overwhelmed with shock. Isn't this so-called lightning spirit too terrifying? No wonder even the Northern Sea Dragon was unable to deal with it. The myriad of living things in this world were truly incomparably mysterious and marvelous. It's fortunate that this lightning spirit's intelligence isn't too high. However, if I were to get close to it, I'd have to endure its most violent and intense attacks, said the bald old man as he tugged at his mouth. Staring at the black lightning sea, a chilling glint flashed within his murky eyes as he continued, if I were to use my strength and take action, I'd be able to destroy it. However, I'd also destroy the thing I want. What does Senior want to retrieve? Slightly curious, Mu Chen asked the bald old man. The Northern Sea Dragon had prepared this space for hundreds of years, and even created this terrifying lightning sea. In the end, he had even created the lightning spirit. What exactly did he want to obtain from this? As the murky eyes of the Northern Sea Dragon converged on the black lightning sea, he said in an indifferent tone, Lightning God Pill. Lightning God Pill? Mu Chen blankly repeated those words, while a vacant expression filled his face. Obviously, he had never heard of that before. Although it's called a pill, it isn't something that people can refine. It's something created by the heavens and earth, explained the bald old man slowly. Only when lightning energies are boundless enough to reach such a terrifying level would there be some chance for a lightning god pill to form. I've been searching and accumulating countless divine black lightning for the past hundreds of years, all for the sake of a lightning god pill to be formed. Fortunately, my luck's not bad. However, I never knew that when the lightning god pill was born, it would also give birth to a lightning spirit that has been preventing me from acquiring the pill this whole time. What use does that lightning god pill have? With that lightning god pill, I'll be able to rely on it to make a breakthrough and step into the realm of Earth Sovereign, replied the bald old man. Earth Sovereign? A shock went through Mu Chen's mind. If that's the case, the bald old man in front of him should be at the level of a 9th grade sovereign. That's truly terrifying. He was already considered to have reached the apex of the sovereign realm. One more step, and he would reach the legendary Earth Sovereign realm. Even considering the entire Great Thousand World, an expert of that level would absolutely be sufficient to be called first class. With that kind of strength, even within those super strong clans, one would be able to be comparable to their clan leaders. Senior, why don't you find Dean Taikang and the other elders? If Dean Taikang were to help you, shouldn't it be much more easier? Mu Chen asked doubtfully. Within the Northern Heaven Spiritual Academy, with the Northern Sea Dragon status, if he needed help, who would dare to not give their utmost to help? It's no use. This lightning spirit's very cautious. I've already spoke of this to Taikang. When he had just entered the other day, it caused the lightning sea to erupt. If the two of us were to appear at the same time, the lightning spirit would feel threatened. What if it felt that it was in a life-or-death struggle and destroyed the lightning god pill? Won't that waste my hundreds of years of hard work, replied the bald old man helplessly. Hearing his explanation, Mu Chen gave a bitter laugh and looked at the black lightning sea. At this moment, there weren't too many fluctuations radiating from it. However, under this unchanging peace, Mu Chen was able to feel his heart palpitate. However, Senior, you should know that my strength's inadequate. Relax, I've already said that I won't let you lose your life for nothing. The bald old man waved his hands and stared at Mu Chen while saying, I called for your help due to you absorbing a bolt of divine black lightning before. Furthermore, you've let it erupt within your body. Although the strength of the divine black lightning within your body have been completely used up, there's still some remnants left. A sparkle flashed within Mu Chen's eyes as he said, Is Senior talking about the divine black lightning poison? The bald old man nodded his head and replied, The divine black lightning poison truly is a very frightening thing. However, from another perspective, it can be said to be a valuable treasure. Mu Chen's forehead wrinkled up. The divine black lightning poison is something that even sovereign realm experts dare not to casually come into contact with. If you are able to control the divine black lightning poison, to you, it would become an extremely formidable trump card. Control the divine black lightning poison? Mu Chen replied with a dry laugh. He didn't even have the ability to discover the divine black lightning poison that was hidden within his body, let alone control it. It isn't difficult for you to sense the divine black lightning. As long as I pass the complete version of the lightning god physique to you, you'll naturally be able to sense them. Relying on the lightning god physique, you should be able to even control the divine black lightning, said the bald old man with a smile. The complete version of the lightning god physique? Mu Chen repeated those words as his heart palpitated in eagerness. He had already seen how overbearing the lightning god physique was. If he didn't learn this body-refining divine art, the eruption from the divine black lightning's strength would have ended very miserably for him. Furthermore, that was only the incomplete version of it. If he was able to learn the complete version of the lightning god physique, to what degree would his fleshly body become? How about it? The bald old man asked with a grin. He believed that with this condition, Mu Chen would be unable to resist it. After knowing the formidability of the lightning god physique, Mu Chen would definitely not forsake it. As expected, in an instant, Mu Chen fiercely nodded his head. Searching for riches and power through risks. For the sake of obtaining the complete version of the lightning god physique, Mu Chen dared to take the risk of running through extreme danger. Furthermore, he was, after all, a student of the Northern Heaven Spiritual Academy, and the Northern Sea Dragon won't send him to his death for nothing. Seeing Mu Chen's reacting, the smile on the bald old man's wrinkled and dried-up face instantly grew thicker. Extending his withered palm to pat on the former's shoulder, he said, Since that's the case, then let us do some necessary preparations. Preparations? Mu Chen gawked, before staring blankly at the bald old man. Was there anything else that needed to be prepared? With a dry cough, the bald old man replied, It's like this. Although your body has some divine black lightning poison, it's still too weak and sparse. That level isn't enough to mask the fluctuations of your life force. If you were to enter the lightning sea like that, you'll definitely be discovered by the lightning spirit. Therefore, Mu Chen suddenly felt thick uneasiness. Therefore, you need to get zapped by the divine black lightning a few times. This would increase the density of the divine black lightning poison within your body to some extent, to the point that it can mask your life force, replied the bald old man with a dry laugh. Hearing those words, Mu Chen tugged at his mouth slightly as he thought, this damnable bald freak. Indeed, he didn't have any good intentions. He had actually wanted him to get close to the divine black lightning on his own initiative. During the previous time, it was fortunate that he was able to endure it. That was completely due to the divine black lightning being only a remnant left behind by the lightning tribulation, with some luck added in. Only then was he able to endure it. However, if this was to occur a few more times, could it be that he would have to always rely on his good luck? Looking at Mu Chen's progressively darkening face, the bald old man gave another dry laugh. Touching his bald head with his withered palm, he said, Relax, I'll reduce the divine black lightning to a level that you're able to endure. I'll definitely make sure that nothing will befall you. Mu Chen's expression wavered indecisively. Although he had a super powerful existence of a 9th-grade sovereign guarding his side, the divine black lightning was truly too ferocious. If there were any unfortunate circumstances, even he might not be able to provide any aid in time. This matter was obviously filled with danger. Looking at the struggle Mu Chen was having, the bald old man hurriedly incited the former. When this thing is complete, I'll personally aid you in your spiritual light empowerment, and will definitely give it my all. I dare to say that there's absolutely no one in the entire Northern Heaven Spiritual Academy that can exceed the results that I can help you achieve. Mu Chen was still stuck within his struggles. Hey, little fellow. Just treat it as me owing you a favor. I've also helped that little nine nether that has a bloodline bond with you successfully cross the divine black lightning tribulation. Not only did I give her some protection, I even stole a bolt of divine black lightning. If not, that little nine nether would have already turned to ash during the lightning tribulation. The bald old man hurriedly played the sympathetic guilty card, since he was afraid of Mu Chen retreating from this matter. There's such a case. Mu Chen was shocked and somewhat startled. This was something that even he did not know. He. Although collecting the divine black lightning was also my goal, it could be considered as me helping you. Furthermore, if not for the feather plume that I'd given that little nine nether, she would have been unable to grasp the time to recover. The bald old man replied awkwardly. Mu Chen shot a look at the bald old man. He actually did see a feather plume going to work when nine nether was undergoing the tribulation. The energy that radiated from the feather plume had obviously not originated from nine nether. So, what's your decision? The bald old man hurriedly asked. With a smile, the struggle within Mu Chen's eyes slowly dissipated, bit by bit. He had always lived by the rule, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Regardless of what motive the bald old man had, he truly did help nine nether a great deal. Furthermore, with the bloodline bond, by helping nine nether, it can be considered that he had also helped him. Since that was the case, he would naturally not have any reason to reject this task. Looking towards the bald old man, Mu Chen took a deep breath, before nodding his head. All right, I accept. You accept? The bald old man appeared slightly surprised as he looked at Mu Chen. Previously, when he gave many lius an enticement, Mu Chen had always been hesitant and was struggling within his mind. He never thought that his final statements would actually make Mu Chen agree so straightforwardly. Giving only a faint smile, Mu Chen did not say anything more. Truly an interesting little fellow. At this moment, upon looking at Mu Chen's eyes, the bald old man understood his intent, causing an additional sliver of admiration to grow towards the former. People that were able to differentiate gratitude and grudges were truly able to make people fond of them. Looks like this little fellow treasures a thing like friendship very strongly. What time do we start? Since he agreed, Mu Chen would naturally not have any more hesitation and immediately asked about the specifics. Let's do it now. The bald old man said, if you're able to endure the divine black lightning, I'll pass you the complete version of the lightning god physique. Patting Mu Chen's shoulder, he continued talking, relax, I won't let you go in there just to be cannon fodder. Once there's a problem, I'll immediately take action. After waiting for hundreds of years, waiting for just a little longer isn't much. I'll try my best. Mu Chen replied while nodding his head. With a nod, the bald old man shifted his body and shot straight at the black lightning sea that occupied the mysterious space. However, he didn't get too close, and stopped when he was around 10 miles from the edge. Go over there. The bald old man pointed at a space not far from where he was, where a black stone platform stood floating in the air. Nodding his head, Mu Chen swept over and descended onto the stone platform. Upon sitting down, he felt a cold sensation radiating from it. A cold and refreshing aura seemed to course throughout his body, and under it, the hidden wounds that were left in Mu Chen's body by the strength of the divine black lightning started to gradually disappear. This stone platform was cast using lightning refining stones, and has some dispelling effects towards the strength of lightning. While you're on it, it'll help you reduce some of the pain, the bald old man explained. Mu Chen nodded his head, before panning around and stared at the bald old man. Seeing that Mu Chen had already completed his preparations, the bald old man raised his head to look at the unending sea of black lightning. In the next moment, he extended his withered finger and gave the space a tap. As the bald old man's finger descended onto the space, it instantly started to intensely warp and distort. Spatial lines started to ripple out, before transforming into something akin of spatial chains. Directly passing through space, they went straight into the lightning sea. Bang! Rumble. Familiar low and deep rumbling sounds that caused people's heart to tremble resounded. Turning his head around, Mu Chen saw a black lightning bolt, approximately 10 meters long, being tangled up by the spatial chains, like a giant python, before being dragged out from within the lightning sea. The black lightning bolt struggled intensely, causing destructive lightning energies to continuously gush out from it. However, it was still unable to cause the slightest movement towards the seemingly weak spatial chains. Looking at this spectacle, Mu Chen quietly smacked his lips. The Northern Sea Dragon was undeniably a super-strong existence of the 9th grade sovereign level. Within his hands, the divine black lightning was akin to a baby, unable to put up even an ounce of resistance. As the bald old man dragged the divine black lightning out from the lightning sea, with a clench of his palm, the spatial chains wrapping around the divine black lightning violently contracted. Instantly, sparking sounds erupted out as the size of the divine black lightning unexpectedly started to rapidly shrink. At the same time, the destructive energies present within it also started to rapidly grow weaker. After a short span of a few breaths, the divine black lightning was now only about 10 centimeters thick. Obviously it had been weakened by quite a bit. "That should be enough," said the bald old man as he looked towards Mu Chen and said, "You ready?" Mu Chen shot a look at the divine black lightning. The destructive energies contained within it seemed to be around the same as the one that he had endured during 9 Nether's tribulation. Thinking about it, he should be able to endure this bolt. Yes. Taking a deep breath, Mu Chen nodded his head. Bang! Without continuing to be polite, with a wave of his palm, the divine black lightning shot forward. Carrying along its destructive energies, it violently descended onto Mu Chen. On Mu Chen's body, spiritual energy burning with black flames instantly erupted as a faint silvery color surfaced onto his skin. Obviously, he had also activated his lightning god physique without restraint. Bang! Just as he had completed activating his defenses, the divine black lightning heavily stuck against the body of Mu Chen with a loud bang. Bang! At the instant of being struck, Mu Chen suffered something similar to a heavy blow, and he almost seemed to fly backwards. Despite that, clenching his teeth, he stuck firmly to the stone platform. As this happened, the spiritual energy that was burning in black flames was rapidly being compressed and dissolved. In a short span of 2 breaths, Mu Chen's spiritual energy was forced back into his body. Following suit, carrying along its destructive energies, the divine black lightning crazily gushed into his body. As the black lightning arced across the surface of Mu Chen's body, intense pain that would make people faint spread, once again, across his body. As Mu Chen tightly clenched his teeth and tremors faintly shook his body, spiritual energy crazily erupted from his body, trying its best to resist the surge of the divine black lightning energy. However, it was clear that his little bit of spiritual energy was unable to be of much use, since it quickly became completely submerged, and the black lightning liquid started to wreak havoc within Mu Chen's body. His meridians started to distort under the impact, while horrifying cracking noises started to erupt from his muscles and bones. As the intense pain continued to spread out, blood started to spurt out of his mouth, while a wave of dizziness rushed through his mind, in an attempt to make him faint. However, he understood that once he fainted, he would lose all control, allowing the havoc-causing divine black lightning energy to cause a whole load of destruction within his body. The black lightning light enveloped Mu Chen, sparkling as it arced around malevolently. Upon seeing this, the bald old man started to get slightly anxious. If Mu Chen was unable to endure the divine black lightning, his hopes on this matter of his would seemingly be dashed. "Endure it," said the bald old man in a low voice. Dizziness continuously surged through him. However, just as he was feeling somewhat difficult to endure the intense pain, a cold and refreshing aura suddenly erupted within his body. As this surge within his body grew, the intense pain with Mu Chen's body had suddenly been dispelled by quite a bit. As of now, the devastating black divine lighting that was wreaking havoc was now lacking a sliver of craziness. This was the lighting refining platform at work. Sighing a breath of relief, Mu Chen clenched his teeth and continued to endure. Only after approximately half an hour, did he slowly open his eyes. At this time, the divine black lightning around his entire body had already completely dissipated, with a large majority having scattered within his body. Mu Chen's face was pale, and every slight movement would cause pain akin to his flesh being split apart, causing incomparable pain. "You've succeeded," said the bald old man in gratification as he descended. With a bitter laugh, Mu Chen did not say anything, opting to close his eyes while observing the injuries within his body. As the bald old man waved his hand, boundless and majestic spiritual energy erupted out and gushed into Mu Chen's body, helping him rapidly treat his wounds, while allowing him to completely recover from the injuries left behind by the divine black lightning. Under the help of the bald old man, within tens of minutes, Mu Chen's injuries were completely healed. Again? Seeing that Mu Chen had already recovered, the bald old man instantly asked with a grin. A cold shiver shook through Mu Chen. However, no tears came out from his eyes as he nodded his head. Bang! Bang! Crackles of thunder resounded once again. As time slowly ticked by into the late afternoon, Mu Chen had suffered the feeling of his flesh and skin being split apart time and time again, while hovering between life and death. He could even smell the burnt flavor coming from his body. As of now, his entire body was akin to a piece of immovable wood. On the lightning refining platform. As the 18th bolt of divine black lightning gradually dissipated, Mu Chen was finally unable to endure the pain. Collapsing on the stone platform, his face was deathly pale, while he continuously gasped for air. Currently, his body felt as if it had already shattered. As the bald old man descended onto the lightning refining platform, his palm pressed against Mu Chen, while spiritual energy erupted out. After checking the injuries in Mu Chen's body, he removed his palm. With some difficulty, Mu Chen recovered some of his strength. However, he felt extremely tired, not even having the wish to move his fingers. Although he was tired, Mu Chen was able to feel that his lightning god physique had seemingly become stronger. This kind of self-torture truly had some benefits. Bringing about a black glow, the bald old man's withered palm swept across Mu Chen's body. In the next moment, Mu Chen saw black spots appearing on his body. Akin to a liquid, they circulated around, while radiating with fluctuations that made people feel unease. This was the divine black lightning poison. However, it was obvious that the lightning poison present within Mu Chen's body was much thicker than before. Staring at those black spots, Mu Chen felt his scalp turn numb. After all, no one would feel comfortable to have such life-threatening things within their body. There's already enough lightning poison. This should be able to mask your aura, the bald old man said while nodding his head. Those words were akin to removing a heavy load off of Mu Chen's shoulders. Thank God, I don't need to continue being struck by lightning. Next up, I'll pass the complete version of the lightning god physique to you. Afterwards, I'll tell you how you can control the divine black lightning poison. Hearing those words, Mu Chen's mind instantly shook. After enduring so much pain, he could finally get some compensation. With a smile, the bald old man extended his withered finger and gave a tap on Mu Chen's forehead. As the finger sparkled with a lightning light, a sliver of lightning light liquid followed his finger and drilled into Mu Chen's forehead. Bang! Just as the lightning light liquid drilled into Mu Chen's forehead, he instantly felt an astonishing peal of lightning erupting within his mind. While his body instantly gave a faint tremble, a majestic and complicated piece of information appeared like a surging tide. Lightning God Physique, middle rank deity tier spiritual art of the body refining category. Able to harvest the lightning energies of the heavens and earth to refine and strengthen one's body. Besides being overbearing, one could rely on one's fleshly body to shatter space, while possessing the strength to shift mountains. As one acquires higher accomplishments in this divine art, its power would be comparable to a high-rank deity tier spiritual art. Comparable to a high-rank deity tier spiritual art. While muttering those words, Mu Chen sighed in shock. Body-refining divine arts were rare, and he never thought that the lightning god physique would be that strong. When one fully mastered it, its power would be no weaker than a high-rank deity tier spiritual art. One wasn't even able to buy a divine art of this grade within the spiritual values hall. As for the matter of being struck by lightning, after suffering that much pain, the benefits reaped weren't little, too. After an instant, Mu Chen withdrew the rampaging emotions within his heart. Proceeding to calm his mind down, he started to observe and emulate the entire process of learning this divine art. This video will end here.